There I am. What's up,
There
buddy?
he is.
All right. So what I just realized that may have happened.
Damn, you sound good.
Thanks, buddy. You do too. So I think what may have happened is I've been talking for the last 10 minutes. God, I hate the way I look on camera. Ugh. But I think what may have happened.
Holy shit, it hides your triple chin so well.
That's why I have it, dude. It's like a scarf. It's like a scarf. I can't wear a scarf. I look like Lenny Kravitz. People get me confused for a hot rock star, so I have to do the beard instead. So it's getting pretty good. Yeah. So look at this. It's a full on neck beard. I haven't trimmed it since Labor Day weekend. So
there you go.
It's amazing what hitting puberty in your mid-30s will do, dude. It's great. So but yeah. So I've been talking for the last 10 minutes, possibly to nobody. It's very possible I've been talking to nobody for the last 10 minutes. I've been yammering on about the Seahawks and just sort of aimlessly talking. And then I added to stream. Now it looks like we're streaming.
Nice.
So hopefully what I've been saying has been going to somebody, or maybe it'll be a blessing that it doesn't. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
this is so much better being able to see.
It's so much better than the old setup. I was actually explaining to people potentially that we used to do this podcast years ago. Their work got in the way. Being a adult got in the way for me. And but the good news is we're back, and I know at some point we'll learn how to do drops. So Reunited and It Feels So Good. That's going to be the song that we might open the shows with going forward. But as of right now, this is a test show. So I will say,
I feel like I'm wearing way too much orange, but I don't care, especially with this light beaming down on me.
Yeah, it's fine. It's very heavenly. You look like an orange angel.
I got it. Down.
But you remember this guy? Oh, you walked away.
Oh yeah, I got mine.
Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah.
With a stand.
Oh, you got yours on a quick little stand. Look at you.
I know. I'm wondering. I guess I'll keep it off camera. I wasn't sure if I should put it in front or not. Try to look professional.
Nah, mine's off to my right here. So, but let's get into the show, man. Let's actually do this thing. So, first thing we're going to talk about is this game that's about to come on. I had some issues with the uniforms. I'll be 100% honest. So it looks like the Cardinals are wearing all black.
Yeah,
okay, which I'm okay with. I dig that uniform for the Cardinals.
I like it for Arizona.
But the Seahawks are wearing their lime green and blue pants.
Not Philly. Oh, the Ravens. I love the Ravens in Arizona. Screw Philly.
Yeah, dude. I love the all black, but why? That's not my issue. My issue is Seattle is wearing lime green and blue.
Oh, see,
I'm not sure I'm digging this.
They haven't popped up on the TV yet for me. I'm just looking at Arizona. Oh, and Kyler Murray has the visor, looking badass.
Oh no, yeah. I wish their helmets were black. That's what makes the Ravens just a little better because they're all blacked out. Yeah, and that it is so intimidating. Like when Ed Reed, we're cursing by the way, so I don't know if we need to talk to the guy running the thing, and let him know we need to put a little. We're gonna curse, and that's just who we are. I'm not apologizing for it. I know for a damn fact you're not apologizing for it. So
I've gotten better, man. I've been hanging out with kids. I've gotten very PG-13 when it's needed.
I did just tell the people, by the way, that my daughter is like kind of within earshot of me, but she can't hear me. And she's heard more swearing than I have. So, but she won't swear. I've tried to give her money to swear. She just won't do it. I was like, Avery, $20. Just say the F word. Nope. No dice. Like, even if I asked her right now, I could offer a Barbie dream house and she'd be like, nah. And I was like, well, guess I get to keep the Barbie dream house for myself then.
Is it just me or is there something just so badass about your quarterback wearing a visor?
I mean, as a Giants fan, we have the fastest quarterback in the league, and I wish he would wear it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's true, right? Daniel Jones is the fastest quarterback in the league right now.
Yeah, he's pretty fast. If he could just stay on his feet, that's the problem.
Faster than DK Metcalf.
He literally ran out of his own shoes.
That's how fast he was running.
And he died.
Yeah, but we're looking at two if we're doing from the Daniel Jones scale, two of the slower quarterbacks in the league right now. So that's exciting.
The highlighters just popped up on my screen. Oof.
It's unbelievable, dude. It's unbelievable.
Those greens, man. I don't know.
They pop. So, all right, Tony, let's talk about this game a little bit. Who do you got? Who do you think's going to win?
Who I think's going to win? Oh, God. This is such a toss-up because Seattle has been slumping big time. Russell Wilson's turned the ball over like I think 10 times in his past 3 games, but like Seattle needs. I mean, both teams need this game, but Seattle I think just needs it that much more because if they lose both games to Arizona, the division's done. Arizona just swept them.
Yeah, lose both games to Arizona, and they just lost to the Rams on Sunday.
Yeah,
I mean, I think all the pressure is on Seattle right now.
They looked awful against the Rams, and the Rams. I mean, they're all tied. I think 6-3 for the division, so they're all just neck and neck. You got to separate. Right. I mean, the Rams need it more. I'm going to give a slight edge to the Rams, but I think it's going to be a really close game. Like it's going to be a turnover or a field goal difference. Like
you meant slight edge to Seattle or slight edge to Arizona? Yeah. You said the Rams.
I'm hoping for Arizona because I bet that way, but I think Seattle wins it, but by less than 3.
Gotcha.
I mean, that's where I put my money too with Arizona +3. So obviously,
well, that was going to be my next question. Is are you? So explain to everybody what you explained to me about the lines for this week.
What do you mean by that?
I guess the line for this game and how you bet it, which I thought was interesting because I think Arizona is a 3-point favorite, right?
No, Seattle's a 3-point.
Seattle's 3-point favorite. I'm sorry, they're in Seattle, so my bad.
Yeah. I mean, but if you look at it too, home field has meant nothing this year. I think underdogs are actually winning more of the games, and there's no fans. That's the biggest thing too. And Seattle is one of the few stadiums, one of the few teams that has a home field advantage. Seattle, KC, Buffalo. New Orleans, obviously, but without
Green Bay, Pittsburgh, some of the better franchises,
especially on the defensive side of the ball. Like Seattle's good for like 1 or 2 false start penalties a game. So home field means nothing now. Throw that out the window.
Right.
This game was so hard to bet just because, I mean, we saw in the last game of the Arizona and Buffalo how they don't kick the extra point. They're a 2.5-point favorite, and the underdog covers. Just to play it safe, I just teased it. I was like, all right. And for people who don't know what a teaser is, you add 6, 6.5, or 7 points to 2 different outcomes. So I added 6, got Arizona +9, added 6 to the over. So instead of 57.5, I got the over at 51.5.
Right.
So basically, and it bets at -120. So you bet $120, you win $100. That's basically how it works. But just it can go either way. Like this game, I really feel is a toss-up. That's why, just to be safe, I was like, all right, I'll do the teaser, add some points, and hopefully come out on the winning end.
So, I think you and I are kind of viewing this game very similarly. Like, I mean, if I were to put a score on it, I'm going to say the spread is going to be a push since it's 3. And I'm going to say 38-35 Seattle, where it's sort of like a last minute thing, or like you were saying, a turnover or something like that. My thing is I kind of just trust Russell Wilson not to turn the ball over more than I trust Kyler Murray. And I know that might be almost crazy considering the Rams game, but there's a big difference between this game and the Rams game. And that is Aaron Donald, who in my opinion is the best player in the league. And I know I just went on a tangent at the beginning of this about how Russell Wilson's the best football player in the league, but I think that if you take like position by position, the gap between the best player at their position and the second best player, I think at Aaron Donald and whoever the second best defensive tackle is, Fletcher Cox or Chris Jones or whoever, is the Pacific Ocean. I mean, it's just that's what it is.
And let's not forget Aaron Donald practices with hand knives.
Right. It's like he's Jason Bourne. Yeah, dude. He's a freak of nature. So my brother-in-law and I, when we were with the family at Hershey Park a couple years ago, saw Aaron Donald with his family, and I'm not kidding. He is not tall. I mean, he's about your height.
Yeah, and he's a D tackle. Like people like
he's a D tackle,
great shape, but he doesn't seem like a prototypical D tackle. Like,
right? Just, he's thick for sure. Yeah, he's thick, but he's not as tall. He's not as tall as you would think. He's 6 foot on the dot, like an inch taller than I am.
I mean, think of the D tackles we grew up with, like Gilbert Brown for the Green Bay Packers.
Right.
360-something pounds, just takes up
like
space.
Think Sam Adams, Ted Washington, guys like that, They're just in the middle, and they're like the Giants have like 4 defensive tackles, or 4 defensive linemen like that. Dexter Lawrence is 300 pounds. Delvin Tomlinson's 300 pounds. Like they have a lot of beef on that. Leonard Williams is 300 pounds. Like they have some beef on that line. And so that actually goes to my thing that I was talking about before you popped on too. which is like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And I actually think if you look at what the Giants did with their power rushing their D line, I actually think that was definitely a good way to get to Tom Brady a little bit. And I think that's where Tampa is susceptible to pressure, is just straight up the middle. I mean, you're rushing from the outside. I think their tackles are good enough as to where if you hit them up the middle, like the Giants did, they really got to Tom Brady a bunch of times in that game. And I think that's why I just have no clear-cut favorite in the NFC. I would say maybe if this was like a week and a half ago, I'd say Tampa, but I definitely don't feel like that now, and I definitely don't feel like Seattle. I mean, Russell Wilson looks mortal the last couple of games. He was terrible against Buffalo. He's even worse against the Rams. So, and I don't think – I think Arizona's too young.
Historically with Brady, too, that's how you beat him is pressure. Like, your Giants did it in 2 Super Bowls. Like, make him uncomfortable. Right. Don't let him sit back there and pick everything apart. And – it's a different generation with quarterbacks now, too, because we have all these mobile runners and even like some of the older school guys like Aaron Rodgers, like he can still move around in the pocket. But like Brady, like that's not his MO at all. Just go get him, make him uncomfortable, collapse that pocket.
Right. I think his mobility, we can compare it to some like maybe the cardboard cutout on the train from Home Alone when he was trying to confuse the wet bandits. I think that's where Tom Brady's mobility is right now. I think he's essentially a Jordan cutout on a toy train right now. And I think that and it's easy to say that about every quarterback. It's like, oh, you get pressure on him. That's the best way to disrupt them. And that's just not true with quarterbacks anymore. Get pressure on Patrick Mahomes and see what happens. Like he'll just destroy you. Same thing with Kyler Murray. You saw it in the Bills game. They got pressure on that Hail Mary thing. All he did, he ran away.
Oh, he froze on me. With a very awkward looking face, might I add. Oh, there it is.
Froze, yeah, I know. See, for us, it just sort of went away. So, just so everybody knows, that's going to happen. This is part of the working the kinks out. This is why it's a quote unquote test show. So I think going forward, by the way, we should probably clean some of this stuff up too. We're going to be doing this show on Tuesday nights, ideally. Tuesday or Wednesday nights. We're going to try to keep it to Tuesday nights. Probably 8:30 to 9:30 type thing, but then you can get it on podcasts and stuff like that. So you can,
provided there's not a certain game going on. Season kicks off on next Friday. Hopefully the season.
I was going to say, I think
Coach is battling COVID right now, and all basketball activities are in pause. So we'll see.
Yeah, I think the novel coronavirus might have something to do. I understand why they said novel coronavirus so many times at the beginning of that, but it's just sort of like we know it's new. You don't have to tell us novel coronavirus. That sounds so much fancier than it is. Just call it. I had to look it up
in the beginning because I'm like, are they writing a book, like a novel? Like I don't understand.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I don't like how would I know that? So, but yeah, so COVID might have something to say about that, but. If we need to push because of Syracuse games, we can absolutely do that. We need to go earlier or whatever. The main thing is this is not necessarily going to be built for live audience. It's going to be for the podcast listeners because that's what you are. We definitely want to increase our live viewers, but I think at first we're just figuring it out. So from there, we're going to try to do it on Tuesdays. Oh, look, Russell Wilson got sacked again. We're going to try to do it on Tuesdays.
You're obviously ahead of me. That's awesome.
Oh, sorry. Spoiler alert. Listen, everybody dies at the end of the party.
Like 40 seconds ahead of me. That's YouTube TV for you, though. That happens.
Yeah, that happens. DiCaprio dies at the end of The Departed, and Tom Hanks gets off the beach and cast away. So if we're spoiling things,
badass kills in the Titanic.
Yeah, exactly. The Titanic sinks at the end.
Goddamn door, you fat bitch. And I'm sorry, like she is heartless. Plenty of room.
Sorry, my daughter is walking through here asking if she can say hi.
Hi,
Avery. Tony said hi.
You just muted yourself. Yep, still nothing.
Yep, there you go.
We're
back. Yeah, so anyway, Tuesdays, depending on the Syracuse basketball schedule. But we're gonna do our best. So this is more for a podcast audience, is kind of where our aim is, but we're gonna try to build our live audience as well. Also, this is going to be primarily just a Tony and I talking shit type show. We're going to be talking about the games. We're going to be bullshitting. We're going to talk about, movies. I'm sure Tony will talk about wrestling, even though I don't watch wrestling at all, but Tony does. So we're going to let him have his wrestling corner. And basically, once we get going,
McAfee has been killing it.
What's that?
Pat McAfee has been killing it with NXT.
I will say that the video you sent me of Pat McAfee jumping from the ring to the top of the turnbuckle and doing a backflip off of it is one of the most athletic scenes, or one of the most athletic things I've seen in a long time.
Wait till you see what he's doing. They're doing war games. It's two rivers surrounded by a steel cage. McAfee's going to jump off the top of it, guaranteed.
Avery, what? It's fine, Avery.
Aww.
Hold on. So, Tony, talk to people, okay? I'll be back.
So this is the main difference between Bill and I. Bill has a child. I do not. So get those fun little interruptions like that. I think when he comes back, maybe I'll just pee myself just so I don't feel so left out. So Avery doesn't feel so bad. So yeah, this Thursday night game, I am jacked for this. I mean, we finally get a good one. I mean, Tennessee, Indy last week was decent, but it's just there's not a lot of juice with those two teams. But Arizona, Seattle, this is an awesome matchup. Seattle right now 3rd and 4. We'll see what they can come up with here. I'm just hoping for a high score, man. I just want some entertainment. I want some touchdowns, yards. Like, let's see the juice. Let's see the excitement. Russell Wilson back to pass, getting pressured, scrambling for his life. First down. Nice little throw on the run. This is a get-right game for him. I mean, he's too good and too experienced to just be as bad as he's been. Like I mentioned before, 10 turnovers in the past 3 games. Like, this is going to be a big night for him. And Kyler Murray is just pure electricity. I mean, he's got just as good, if not better, stats as Lamar Jackson had at this time last year, who was the MVP. So, hopefully Bill's okay. This poor daughter. God. I can't imagine. This is why I flush my children, ladies and gentlemen. I really wish we didn't do this during the game. I am highly distracted, if you can't tell. But it's all right. We'll get through it. So, yeah, we're mainly going to talk NFL. I'm going to throw in a little Cuse hoops here and there because obviously I'm from Syracuse, and it's all we know, all we love. It's what gets us through this brutal winter. Oh. Russell Wilson back to pass, scrambles to the right, first down, throw to Tyler Lockett. Russell Wilson, 3 for 3, 23 yards already. This is going to be his get right. 4 for 4 now, 33. This is going to be his get right game. May have sprinkled a little bit of cash on the over for pass attempts for Russell Wilson at 37.5. So 4 throws in the first 5 minutes, looking good. Anybody else remember when the NFC West was the worst division of football, and now it's the East with my Cowboys? Those were fun times. So, yeah, I don't really know what to talk about when it's just me. I'm much better when there's somebody to play off of. It's usually my go-to, but maybe I could pop my shirt off. I mean, I don't know if anyone wants to see that, but probably not, so I'll keep it on. When did Hyde become a Seahawk? Huh. I was not aware that Carlos Hyde was a Seattle Seahawk. Carson's out, so you got to have somebody running the ball. Oh, there we go. Russell on the scramble. Good for 8 yards. I also took Russell Wilson with the over on 37.5 rushing yards. So, can you tell I didn't get the bet last week? I'm just kind of sprinkling a little bit of cash here and there. I think I put in like 5 bets for tonight. Woo! God, the way he just moves around in the pocket, creates time and space, and keeps his eyes downfield, like, it's so good. And then you got Kyler Murray warm up in the sidelines, who can be the next generation of that. I just love where the quarterback play has gone. Like, just seems like rookies just, I mean, I know Murray's not a rookie, second year, but just seems like these guys are younger and younger and just ready to go. Like, let's throw them into the fire and see what happens. Like, the perfect example is Justin Herbert for the Chargers. Like, look how electric he's been. And I almost, it's awful what happened to Tyrod Taylor. He's like the ultimate black sheep for quarterbacks in the NFL as far as like a guy coming in and replacing him. Happened in Buffalo, happened in Cleveland, happened in LA now. But the way Herbert was just thrown out there, like, oh, hey, 5 minutes before kickoff, hey, it's your start. Get out there. I think it was almost, in a way, the perfect way to just throw a quarterback out there. Like, okay, you're not going to announce that he's the starter through training camp or a week before. Let him sit around and stew and think all these scenarios in your head and get nervous and worked up about it. It's like, no, just last minute, hey, man, it's yours. Just go out there and just chuck it. See what happens. Oh, Russell Wilson with a beautiful scramble and a touchdown to DK Metcalf. A throw on the run across his body to the right in the corner of the end zone. My God, he is so good. And DK Metcalf, just the ultimate genetic freak. They should clone that guy in a lab. Oh, nice little double, triple move by DK. Perfect throw into the corner of the end zone by Wilson. My God, you can't draw it up any better than that. And I know, people probably aren't watching this live, but the first touchdown of the game by Seattle, go back and watch it. It's just a thing of beauty. That's where I kind of pride myself. I am a Cowboys fan, and it's been a rough year, but overall, I love the NFL. I love just competitive games, good matchup, good quarterback play. Like, just feed it all to me. 7-0 Hawks. Good start for the over. I don't think Bill's coming back. So unfortunate. Wish I could see if anybody's watching this live. I have no idea. Let's check. Nope, still no idea. Oh, man. Damn it, Bill. Oh, that'll happen. But that's why this is a test show. Maybe he can edit this 5-minute chunk out. Oh. So Seattle's up 7-0. Very interested to see how Arizona responds. Oh, and while we're talking about Arizona, DeAndre Hopkins, that catch last week, just incredible. Like, I forget who I was listening to, but they were talking about Hopkins and him training and how he doesn't have – his hands are just, like, insanely big and strong for his size. Like, he's not the biggest guy, but he has, like, the biggest hands. Could just go up and grab it with the Air Jordan gloves, mind you. I love how he reached up above everyone else who had Adidas and I forget what the other brand was. Maybe it was Reebok or something. But the fact that he just went up and grabbed that ball at the very top – or at the height of it, and just was able to come down and squeeze it and not get it knocked away. Like, just absolutely incredible.
All right, I am back.
Hey-oh.
So we had a little incident that we're still hang on again.
Yeah. She shouldn't feel that bad. I think Avery's 5 or 6 now, and I'm a 35-year-old man, and I have no shame in saying that I have shit my pants 3 times as an adult.
What the hell? What did I just walk into?
I was just saying that your daughter shouldn't feel so bad that I've shit my pants 3 times as an adult. It happens. I'm 35. Whatever.
That does happen.
Hey, listen, man, Taste of Syracuse got me bad one year when I had $39 samples of fried food. That was bad.
Well, that's not good. I mean, I think free samples from a school.
No.
Even though it's a wonderful university.
No, Taste of Syracuse. Like
that's just Syracuse University. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you go around and get dollar samples. When I lived out in Buffalo, I hated your version because you don't get dollar samples. You have to pay full price for it.
For the whole thing, yeah.
So
it's also way more crowded. We might never have Taste of Buffalo again, honestly, after COVID. Honestly,
I really don't anything ever again until everyone gets vaccinated. My God.
Right, I know. And I think what's going to happen, unfortunately, is well, let me first just say I'm not looking forward to listening to the part that you just did.
With talking to the very end too.
So no, that's fine. That's fine. So basically, I'll just explain what happened. And it's not her fault. My daughter is in this mode. She's in a very much attention-seeking mode currently, and it is something every parent deals with. I mean, especially she's an only child. She's 5. So
I was right. She is 5. I was like, I think she's 5 or 6.
5. Yeah. So she's 5. So I made the mistake of asking her to just watch her iPad quietly, and no, she just was like, "No, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go and pee at the bottom of the steps." That's what she did. It's fine. It's fine. She's a sweet girl. She's really smart. She's a really good kid. I can't really complain too much. But this is the second time she's done this now to each one of us. Like she did this to my wife on Monday, which is very odd because she never does things like this. Yeah. And then out of nowhere, I think honestly, I think it's like COVID messing with her. Her school opened and then closed, and it's just been tough for her. So try my best to be even with her. But
sorry, Hopkins almost had that. Guy, I would not have been shocked if he caught that ball.
Yeah, I know. I thought he was going to have it too, but
Oh, by the way, you missed a perfect drive by Russell Wilson. I think he was 5 of 5, 6 of 6 with a
minus the sack. Yeah,
gorgeous touchdown to DK in the corner of the end zone. On the run, scanning the field across his body, chucks it to the far right corner. Russ is on.
Yeah, he's pretty good at football.
He's pretty good at the footballs. He's fake.
Yeah. So I went on a tangent earlier before everything started about Wilson being the best football player in the world. Not necessarily the best quarterback, but I think if you take Patrick Mahomes is probably a better quarterback than him. But as far as line of scrimmage, knowing defenses and all that stuff, Patrick Mahomes is still kind of learning. I mean, he even admitted that
Mahomes is so freakishly gifted and athletic, it's insane. I think Russ does more with less.
Yes, very much. So yeah, that's what I was sort of saying is that he's the best football player on the planet. I mean, I think I might have contradicted myself with the Aaron Donald point. I just think there's a difference between the best player in the NFL and the best player in the world, if that makes sense. I think more the point with Aaron Donald is making is, like I was saying earlier, is I think the chasm between him and the second best player at his position is so big, whereas Russell Wilson is, he's probably the best quarterback, but I think as far as everything the quarterback encompasses, I think you can kind of say there's not really a hole to his game yet, or there's not really a hole to his game except he has to press because of the team he's on. Whereas Mahomes is still learning defenses. He's still seeing things. He hasn't played every team in the league yet. Russ has, that kind of experience. But I think Mahomes is probably going to be there in a year, and it's probably going to be a moot point.
Yeah, and Mahomes hasn't struggled much. We see Lamar Jackson struggling now, where it's just, and I said it last year, where the best way to get to Lamar is get a lead on him early. Don't let him run the ball a ton. Make him try to throw it back into the game. We've seen firsthand, Mahomes can chuck you back into a game. I mean, if anybody forgets, go watch the Tennessee Titans playoff game last year.
Even in the Super Bowl too. I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo was the best quarterback on that field for 3 quarters, and then Mahomes just was a completely different human being in the fourth quarter. He was bad in that Super Bowl. I think that's the thing people are going to forget with history. Mahomes is not good in that Super Bowl at all.
That's what's crazy about KC. They just seem like they can flip a switch when they want to. We're 7-1 right now, and we haven't even seen the best yet.
Nope. There you go.
I wonder if we'll see it Sunday night against the Raiders, where KC's all right, we're done screwing around. This is our one loss. Let's just beat their doors in.
I don't think he's lost a game by more than 8 points. I think that Raiders game is the biggest margin of victory against them in his career. And he's been in the league for 2.5. He's been a starter for 2.5 years.
Yeah, I'm trying to think because they lost a close game to the Chargers last year, but I can't remember them just getting just beaten down.
never happens. But I think, thank God. So I'm trying not to spoil the game for you, but yeah, I think
appreciate that.
Yeah. But I think that
my only complaint about YouTube TV. Oh, fumble, nice. Yeah, I've noticed, like on Twitter, YouTube TV is like 30 to 60 seconds behind for whatever reason.
Sounds like America.
I'm watching on Apple Network too. I don't know if it'd make a difference if I went to Fox. It's the same broadcast.
Yeah, see, when I'm downstairs on the big TV, we have that TV. I always watch it on Amazon Prime because it's a better picture because it's 4K. So, but I'm a snob, so that's probably why. But up here, I have the old 1080p guy. But you know, if I buy another television, I might have to sit down to pee for the rest of my life. My wife will probably end my masculinity. What little bit I have had. I
think I told you my life hack too with TVs, right? The whole open box thing.
It's pretty brilliant. It's pretty brilliant. Yeah,
it really is, because you don't have to pay for the stand. If it was on display or it came back from a customer, they knock a few $100s off anyways, and you can even talk to them and work them down even more. Like, oh, hey, you know, it doesn't have a stand, blah, blah. Oh, let me take another 100 off for you. Like the TV I'm watching right now, it's a 65-inch in my basement, a Sony, and I got it for, I think it was like $400. It was all and it works. Nice. Yeah, amazing picture. But that's every TV in my house, just a few $100 off, just because they're open box.
Right. I will tell you, I am getting sick of this as a Russell Wilson fantasy football owner. It's just like, I don't know what happened to this O-line. I thought this O-line was good, and it's just not. And you know what drives me nuts? Is
Isaiah Simmons, a kid from Clemson.
Yeah, dude. Why is he celebrating like that? It was everybody. Everybody had a push on that one. I mean, you're just the first one to this guy let go. That was an ungood punt. But yeah, dude. I just anyway. Let's actually do the show because it's just you and I bullshitting right now. So let's quickly run through a couple of the marquee games. What games this week are you most excited to bet on and least excited to bet on?
Let me pull up the lines quick. I was just looking at them earlier. You know, one I really like, and it depends where you look because they were +2, but now I think they're +1.5. The Packers, and I'm taking just money line against the Colts.
Really?
Oh yeah,
that's interesting.
Absolutely.
See what I'm seeing with the Packers is
good teams, and Green Bay is a good team. I believe right now they're the class of the NFC. I think they had the number one.
It's like saying there's a class of the NFC East. I think the NFC is so wide open. I don't know if it necessarily matters. See, the line I'm looking at right now, the Colts are favored by 2.5, and that's pretty much even because it's in Indy. So,
what's the money line? Because there's a lot of value for that. I bet it's probably like +130 or.
Hang on. Going here to double check. So it is.
Oh no, I see +1.
The Colts are -125.
Yeah, but what's Green Bay? That could be different. The one I'm looking at online has them +105. So for those that aren't, if you bet $100, you win 105. If it's +105.
Right. And minus is you got to bet 125 to win 100 or whatever. That's the easiest way to explain that. Yeah. So I will tell you
a few points, 2, 1.5. Like you may as well just bet the money line.
Right. So some other game. That's it. That's actually going to be a really interesting game because Indy's defense is really good. Somebody made a really good analogy, which is like Indianapolis is like living in a 5,000 square foot house with a pool, a man cave, a media room, a beautiful kitchen, a pool, a beautiful like patio set outside. It's got the works, and it's in a great neighborhood and a great school district, but doesn't have running water. That's the Colts right now. But Phil Rivers is the coach. So
you talk about Brady being a statue quarterback, like double that philosophy when it comes to Philip Rivers.
Oh yeah.
I just think their offense would be more explosive with Jacoby. I just don't know why they just gave up on him.
I don't either, because he was good until he got hurt last year. I never thought it was really a performance thing. I thought it was like I think he just got hurt. That was my thing with him is he got injured like halfway through the season. I think I want to say he missed a game or two. Then he came back and he was just never the same guy. So I don't know.
Yeah,
pretty interesting.
But yeah, I like the Green Bay money line in that. So this one, People may think I'm crazy. I'll see how you feel about this, but I'm going to take the New York Jets plus 9.5 at the LA Chargers.
That's fascinating. That is very fascinating.
Well, tell me who the Chargers have beaten. Let me put it to you this way. What are the Chargers?
7?
What are the Chargers exceptional at? They're the best in the NFL at doing this.
The receivers not dropping passes.
No, losing close games.
They are amazing at that. The only team that would be better are them and the Falcons.
Yeah, the best team I've ever seen at losing one possession games.
Dude, and they've been like that forever. Remember the year that the Bills made the playoffs for the first time in like 20 years?
Yeah, but
they were like that the whole year. They should have been 12-4. They were 9-7 that year.
I can't remember the last time the Chargers won a game, and how are they a 9.5-point favorite? And I don't care if the Jets are winless. Like, you figure the Jets are going to pick one up somewhere. Why not this game? Right. Or at the very least, keep it under a touchdown.
100%. Yeah, 100%.
Look at the last 2 times the Jets have covered, against the Patriots and against the Bills.
Yeah.
Would you say those 2 teams are better than the Chargers?
Significantly.
Yeah, then
even the crappy Patriots this year, I think significantly.
And I believe in the last couple of weeks, I think like 5 of the 6 biggest underdogs have covered. Dallas covered against the Steelers.
Yeah.
The Jets covered against Buffalo. Who covered against Pittsburgh? Cowboys covered against Pittsburgh. There was another one too. Oh, Carolina was 10.5 point dogs to KC. They covered. Like, whenever the line is that big, these are NFL teams. They're not like.
Yeah, I think the only line that was that absurd was the Chiefs beat the Jets by I think the line was like 19, and I think they ended up beating them by 21. But it wasn't even. I mean, it was relatively close. I'm sure bettors than that were kind of sweating towards the end. So that is sort of fascinating.
But yeah, so Jets, Green Bay, and I'll keep track of all these too, so I can hold myself accountable.
Yeah, we can talk about it. I mean, I'm pulling up mine right now. So another good one is. And it's not going to be that great of a game, but it's the Washington football team versus the Bengals. The Washington
R words.
Yeah, it's R words. Football team is 1 point favorites. So the Bengals, I think the Bengals have covered every game, right?
They're exceptional.
The first one, I think they pushed
the league as far as covering.
Yeah. So.
Look at Washington, too. NFC East teams outside of the division are freaking terrible. I think it's like 6.
The Giants haven't won one outside of the division. They beat the Eagles and they beat the football team twice. Yeah. And then, God, who's Dallas beat outside the division?
Dallas beat the Giants. And who's the other team we beat? Oh, Atlanta on that crazy onside kick.
Oh, the worst onside kick. That was a weird one. Anyway, so I also think this Ravens line – 6.5 over Tennessee. I think that might be a little absurd too, actually, because I understand why the line is where it is. It's in Baltimore. Not that really matters much.
Throw that out the window. Home field means this year.
Aren't the lines still adjusted for that though?
I think they still get 2. Normally, a home team gets 3. I think this year in COVID, they're getting 2.
So it's a 4.5. So that's just kind of in the basically the no zone if you were to just take away the field or whatever. So I would say that I actually kind of like Tennessee in that game. I think Derrick Henry can control the clock, and like I said, like you said, if they get out to an early lead, then it's kind of a wrap for Lamar, because Lamar is not going to throw him back into it. And so all right, let's talk about him real quick. I mean, we have 12 minutes left to the end of this. Let's talk about Lamar a little bit. Why do you think that Lamar isn't progressing as a thrower? He clearly has a ton of ability.
Yeah.
What do you think it is?
I don't know if he's not reading defenses properly. He just doesn't know how to take the next step. I kind of look at Lamar a little bit as Cam, where things are great when everything's going his way, but when they're not, it just goes to hell. Like, his mechanic just gets shot, and he just I don't want to say gives up, but just I don't know. Something's not clicking, He needs to just evolve. It's almost like, okay, I had this great rookie year, and now I'm just going to rest on my laurels and whatever.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's necessarily it because I think Cam's a significantly better thrower than Lamar, but as far as like just a pocket passer, because I remember Cam's come back from games, whereas Lamar just doesn't seem like he can.
Maybe I'm a little biased against Lamar too, because I sat inside of a 94-degree Carrier Dome when he played for Louisville, and like I think he hung like 60 on us and threw for like 300 yards, rushed for like 150, like just absolutely.
Yeah, he torched you guys. Yeah,
it was embarrassing. It was hot and sweaty, uncomfortable, and because I'm who I am, I stayed for the entire game and just had a miserable time.
Right. Yeah, that'll happen. But I do wonder if I think the NFL just figured him out, I think a little bit. And I think this is sort of a transitional season for him. But I think if he can combine the two, because he definitely can throw. Like he throws a nice ball. And my thing is like if Josh Allen can progress and become one of the most accurate quarterbacks in the league, just from a percentage perspective, I think that Lamar can do the same. I think he can kind of up it, and I think he can learn that because I think that guy works so hard, and I think he gives a shit, which is like, you know, it doesn't seem like it should be something, but it just is. Like I think that he's a guy that can actually, you know, figure that out, and I think that the coaching staff there is so good. I think they can help him figure it out. I think it's just a transition year for him. I think he didn't have a training camp. You know, he had such a big year last year. He thought he could just do the same thing again. And that's the thing, man. The NFL figures these guys out. And I think that this is a transition year. And I think you'll see a progression next year in the next evolution of his game that you're going to see he needs.
Yeah. And, you know, this season might humble him a little bit and just like, all right, I need to work harder. I need to go back to the drawing board. And that's a great point how you brought up like no training camp, no off season. Like, yeah, maybe he was like, oh, I'll just run it back from last year. And, you know, it's so crazy because everyone gets so up at, oh, what a flip and throw from Wilson to DK. My God.
He throws those moon bombs. I know those are amazing, actually.
It drops in a bucket. It's insane to me. It's just such a big throw.
I guarantee you're going to see like 8 quarterbacks try doing that next year and to not the same effect.
Copycat league, man. But going back to Lamar, like, you know, you just get some tape on a guy, and that's, you know, everybody just gets so in the moment with the NFL. Like, this is the greatest team ever. Who's ever going to beat them? And then, you know, fast forward to next season, it's like, oh, no, we got film on them. We kind of figured them out. It was go back to the Wildcat. Like, oh, no one will ever stop this. Oh, yeah, give us 6 months. Let Belichick play them and basically figure out how to beat them and show the whole blueprint.
Right. And what'll always win is just sitting back in the pocket and just picking teams apart. That'll absolutely be what wins 100% of the time. It just, you'll never beat that, you know? And
you can't be that run first. Like we've seen it so many times. Like look at RG3, destroyed his career. Just takes one good get blown up.
Well, there's a story about RG3. In Mike Lombardi's book, he talked about RG3 as the most unlikable teammate like he's ever heard of, where he was so disliked by his teammates that that they wouldn't work out with him on his pro day. They refused to go to his pro day and work out with him. Isn't that nuts?
Well, yeah, and that's insane too, because that's the leader of your team. That's the guy who needs to have chemistry with everybody and bring them together.
Right. Yeah.
Ostracize everyone like that. It's just, that's a cancer, man.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And it's just kind of crazy that that's kind of what happened to that guy in his career. I mean, you think about, it was a game against Baltimore that if he cuts out and goes out of bounds as opposed to cutting back in and getting crushed by Haloni Nana, I'd be really curious to see how his career turns out, because I actually think it doesn't turn out much different than what it did. I think injuries derailed that, but I think ultimately he was always going to sort of default to what he is now, which is a backup quarterback, probably a really good backup quarterback, who could do a lot of the same things as Lamar Jackson, but doesn't give a shit to the level that Lamar does. So I think that's, you know, his career probably would have ended in the same place, but it is interesting to see a nice revisionist history thing. And I do remember the time that RG3 was drafted, there were rumors that the Colts were going to take him over Andrew Luck, which would have been absurd. It was absurd in the moment. But I would like to see if that, what would have happened then. Although as a Giants fan, I would have absolutely despised it, because that would have been, Andrew the Giant would have been in our division and destroying my life for, a couple of years. That would have sucked.
But, there's a lot to be said about chemistry, and like if if guys like being around a guy and playing for him, especially at quarterback when he's leader. Like I think back to like Romo back in the day, how he took all these crazy shots and like everybody loved playing for him. Like they wanted to go to war for that guy.
Yeah.
And now fast forward to the horrible culture the Cowboys have now, and Andy Dalton gets blown up, and nobody comes to his defense.
That made me sick. Me sick.
I'm of the mentality, like, if you're my guy, like, I protect you at all costs. Like, you should be in there, throw a fist if you have to. Like, attack someone. Like, that's absolutely insane to me that nobody stood up for him. It just shows you what a fucking mess the Cowboys are.
It does.
Hate my team. Hate my
So
own.
on that note, we're coming to the end of the show. So just wanted to give out the website, backsportspage.com. You can find us on Apple Music and Spotify, I believe on Stitcher as well. Also on Facebook Live and YouTube under Backsports Page. And this show is also called Under the Hoodies. We have a Twitter at Under the Hoodies. My Twitter is at Bill Kegel, Bill Keagle on Twitter. And Tony, give out your info.
I am at Cuse Waterboy. Anybody from Syracuse is very familiar with my antics.
Yes, he has a lot of antics. Tony is a very interesting Twitter follow. If you need opinions on COVID
in person.
Yes. If you need opinions on COVID and gyms in Syracuse, Tony is your man for sure. So the next show will be a little bit more professional. We'll try to have a little bit more of a show format or whatever, but this is more of an episode of us trying to find our voice. So that's my excuse for why this first episode was a little shitty. It's, knocking off some rust. My daughter decided to, relieve herself at the bottom of my stairs. So,
did you just see that run by Kyler Murray?
Yes.
Like, he's quicker than Hiccup, ladies and gentlemen. I use a Jim Ross quote.
That is a great. My God.
My God. He's electric. He's so much fun to watch.
Yes, very much so. But that is it for us under the hoodies. Tony, we'll be back next week, probably Tuesday. We'll have a little bit more of a format. We'll talk about the games. We'll talk about the games that pass. We'll talk about the games that are coming up. So, again, follow us at Under the Hoodies, at Cuse Waterboy, at Bill Kegel. Also, go to backsportspage.com. I'm going to be writing for them and doing some other fun content stuff. Hopefully live blogging here soon. So look forward to that. And Tony, it was good seeing you, bud. Good to be back on the show. And man, I really miss doing this, even though, like I said, this was a little hit or miss.
Hey man, just got to get the reps in and build from here. We'll get better.
That's what it is. I'm trying to get arms like you. That's all the reps are about. That's why I wear short sleeve hoodies now. So it looks like, see, I got nothing. I got a tricep. That's it. But all right, man. Good seeing you. Good show.
Yeah, well, bud. Talk to you later.